Hits and Crits. This video is brought to you by Asmodee.
Yeah, because you also got buffed on the Swan Swords, which you will see in a second. So, yeah. Now I think this is the major buff for Starks, the Creditman Survivalist, which is pretty cool. Ignoring the attachment limit, so you can put him in. So you can put him in 2 different units with another attachment in it, which makes this unit kind of beefy. I mean, you can put him in Berserkers and then with another attachment, and then you can just charge over stakes or like corpse piles, whatever, and you don't get affected by it. And also the Arya token is pretty nice afterwards. So they get weakened after your retreat. I think with this new tool, you can play defensively nice and offensively. Like also a big example, Rickard Karstark now with great access with the Crendock Monk Survivalist, I think is a pretty good threat to any opponent, and you really can't hide from them. So I think this is quite maybe the biggest buff and update for the Stark faction and this patch besides Rob and CU. Then we have the Winterfell champion, which not same ability, but he will get reduced to 0 if you play Eddard commander, so you can take 1 for free. It would be very nice if he would also ignore the attachment restrictions. Right now, with the 4 points extra, I don't think he will see play in Eddard, even because, or maybe just in Eddard, but I can't see him right now bringing the punch if you don't get him for free. Because you will play Ramsey or different attachment, still being a bit better than him. But I think he's nice, but we will see how it turns out. Then the 3 different Stark tactic cards which got changed. So Saint Assault now being, I will read it out one time. If this unit began the turn engaged with the defender, it rolls highest attack die value and may reroll any attack die. This is pretty good because beforehand only realistically Maggie could use this card. Now every unit may be affected by the card, which is pretty nice. And because also of the ability of Maggie Mormont Commander Battle Scars, this card was a bit useless in a 2 kind of way. And now at least other combat units can use it, and I think it's now a bit better than before. Now the Assault Order nerf, which affected a lot of factions, and of course especially us, which is remaining in our base deck. It will be a huge blow. We will have to figure out ways to utilize this card still, and I think it's still powerful in different lists, which you will see soon. But overall, of course, this was a nerf for the Starks, no question. And the last card, where Iceman is crying and myself as well, it's the Berserker Tactics nerf, losing the ability to do outer wounds to your opponent, which is now changed into getting wounds to get different abilities like crit blow, sundering, highest attack, and rerolling any attack die. I still think you can play Greyjohn, although he got nerfed. At first I was pretty sad about it. Now I can see some lists where you can still play. I mean, Ravager or Tally Cavaliers with crit blow is pretty good. Taking 1 wound for it and also having the reroll ability when you're charging over stakes, or I mean over uh, different kinds of terrain, which affects rerolls. This could be pretty good, but of course it's not like this reliant source of damage than before. You have to be a bit lucky in rolling some 6s. So roll those crits, huh? Especially in Starks right now. Yeah, this was from the cards. Now the 3 units which got changed. The Stark Swan Swords got buffed to getting go down fighting. Yeah, it's a small buff, minor buff. I think. Do they see a lot more play now than before? I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe some people will prove me wrong here. On the other hand, the Outriders now with the ambush making also the vulnerable, I think, is a buff because they don't have any keywords dishing out the vulnerable on the flank charge is pretty nice. So you have more reliant damage, and I think it's a quite good buff on them. And then, aka Thomas' favorite unit and my hated unit, at the Stark Bowman, now doing a weakened when the enemy suffers any wounds. This is a nice buff. I will play them now in a Howl and Read list, which I will show you later. And do they compete with other range units? No, not really. But I mean, Starks are also not meant to be a shooting army, so it's a nice buff. So we will take it. But could have been a bit more, I hope for. Yeah, then from here on, what are your questions? Anyone has like ideas? I have to look in the chat for a second. Yes, Crimea River. Okay, nothing special. Then we will go to at the list. I will start with Stark Classic, spamming the Tully Cavaliers now in a different way. As I said at the beginning, using Rob Stark now in a Cav list, I think is a very, very nice thing to do. Then you also can march over the opponent with the 6er movement with the card Write Them Down. I mean, not Write by Attack, which is pretty good. You have a lot of sustain. Yeah, correct, Max Payne. What's better than 2? It's 3, and because of the free attachment, this list could be very beefy and tanky. Also, the Sentinel on the Tully Cavaliers is pretty tough. I mean, you can swap out one Cavalier or even Tycho if you want to play maybe the new or buffed Flateman. But I think in the long run, Cavaliers are a bit more sustainable, and yeah, you can just tank more and dish out more. But I see also some cases for the Flateman, especially with the other card I just mentioned. Write Them Down, because the opponent gets panicked and suffers hits, and with the nice intimidating presence from the Flateman, I think it's a nice combo to have it. And they're also a bit better in grinding now than the Cavaliers. So maybe the putting in one Flateman is also a good opportunity. Yeah, guys, what do you think about this list? I mean, it's not very unique, just spamming one of the best units, but I mean, this I think is what we will see in a lot of armies right now. Yeah, I agree, Max. Would you rather play the Flateman, or would you stick to the Cavaliers, in your opinion? I won't agree that Cavaliers is the best Cav in the game anymore. I think the Brotherhood Cav is a bit better now, but just slightly. I think it's a niche pick from both of them. Yeah, but yeah, for sustain for sure. In damage, I think now the Brotherhood Cav is better. But this is debatable, of course, as well. For the ends use, I used Roderick to not be affected by terrain pieces again. So if you roll a critical one, as we always love as a Stark, you still get your rerolls. And Tycho is yeah, backup if you maybe failed morale test critically, and then you can just heal up the wounds, and you are back in the game. And I think with also the card Marshal, you can heal up even more, remove the condition token. So I think this list has a lot of opportunity maybe for different opponents. Yeah, that's true, Southerners, but they still get one for free. So I think still just without attachments, the Brotherhood Cav is slightly better. Then classic. I just think the list got better or same. I think it got better. First I was like, nah, because they lost motivated by coin with the swift strike ability for Rob. But in the end, playing Cavaliers with Winterfell Guardians and added 6 points, so now you have really a lot of heal in this list. I think this list, which is known for 2-3 years now, will still be a pain to deal with for a lot of people. It's very beefy. It can dish out damage. You can run away. Oh yeah, I forgot because I can't edit here. But thanks for the reminder. Now you dish out even more. You can put in the survivalist. Yeah, so you ignore terrain pieces again. And with that kind of mobility from Rob and Arya, you are so fast that will be yeah, sure, like this. Is this good, Dennis? Okay, better. Wait. Then like this. um, perfect, nice. Yeah, so this is one of the lists which I see still play. Maybe also here, like maybe some people will want to play a Flateman unit and swap out the dervishes for berserkers or something for more damage there. But overall, the list will still be the same, and yeah, will be very, very good for competitive play, of course. And then we have the one of my favorite commanders last patch. Here you must imagine a survivalist because Jojen Reed is only 1 point now. And so with this list, you try to play against calf lists, for example, or heavy calf lists. So you, with the card of Crannock Mine Traps, you try to slow down the movement. So because if the enemy is in range of a Crannock Mine unit, they will move through dangerous terrain and getting a debuff from -1 to move. So this is pretty good, and most likely will keep the Cav in place where they are or stick there where they are. And even better if you combine it with the Bog Devil Ambush, then you can shoot with one of your ranged units, and maybe dishing out the weekend if you're not playing against a lot of Blood Riders, I hope. And yeah, and with Sansa, you just recycle those 2 cards all over and all over again to just slow the enemy down as hell. And with Eddard, a 5-point Eddard, you will block all the incoming healing or abilities to bring them up, so you can just focus the enemy down, and there's nothing much the opponent can do about it when he doesn't have the right tools, like maybe intrigue and subterfuge or Olenna or some twists here and there, but not many factions have tools against him. Yeah, one of my favorite plays, what I would like to do, you put Eddard on the swords, and then when it's the right time, you sacrifice them, and then you can activate another NCU, and then you can maybe shoot another time. This is pretty amazing, and you can dish out a lot of damage. And some opponents won't always have this in mind, or maybe forget it also. So this is pretty cool because you can sacrifice them on board. Yeah, what do you think about this list? Would you play it differently, or what your approach would be? Or do you like those kind of lists? Someone is writing. I'm waiting. Sorry. Yeah, I can really recommend to play him. He's not that easy to play at first, and you will do some mistakes. But if you learn how to place the terrain correctly and also get your units in range to use the cards, it's pretty powerful. Because most of the time, your commander will now with the survivalist will sit on stakes or whatever, so they will be very tough to engage with. Or maybe you will just place a terrain piece which the opponent cannot destroy to slow them down. And if he comes too close to you, or it gets too dangerous, you just move an Aya token and you retreat back, and then it's a very long charge again. He will activate, you will shoot. I played this last season already, and I really liked how it worked in a lot of games. Played it also in a tournament and went quite well with it. Just because of I like the Bog Devils, but I still think that they are too squishy in a lot of regards, and also the attack profile with 754 is a thing that bothers me a bit, because when you just get chip damage here and there, which will happen, of course, with virus tokens, maybe traps, whatever, you will easily get on 2 ranks, and then you attack only with 5 dice is most of the time not good enough. And now also with the, how do you call it, buff or nerf, however you will see it, from motivated by coin, you will heal up a wound, so you are even more tanky with the regroup and reform from them. Yeah, so I really think that they're a bit better. If you want to have the damage output, I would recommend him in Berserkers and a Survivalist. Then you even have 1 more point to spare into a 5-point NCU maybe, or something else you want to do. Because I think Berserkers with a Survivalist and Rob is pretty scary. And you just ignore every terrain and just scoot around. I think will be a big problem to deal with for not mobile armies. Yeah. Yeah, correct. And the Howland list, also in season 5, I didn't really use. I even when I got assault orders, I most of the time just threw it away just to search for those 2 cards, because when you have those 2 cards in hand and you can recycle them with Sansa, the opponent is in a big trouble, and you don't want like attack or charge in the most of cases. I mean, my list was a bit different. I had a Tally Cavalier unit in there, but it was more for sustain. But sure, I put Shaggy in there because so you have like a very fast unit which can dish out a lot of damage, and I like the extra morale in the in the um, in the Spearman unit, in the Karstark Spearman unit. So they are on 5-up morale with Counter Strike. I think this is pretty nice. But if you don't want to give the opponent the opportunity to gain 1 extra victory point, you can also take Brent Tully now for 1 point. But then it's harder to get 8 activations in. Thanks, Satanas. Yeah, it's a very annoying list to play against when you are when you got tricked in it. Then it's a very rough matchup. Yeah, then I will show you another one. Oh, oh no, this is my now. Okay, then I will just click it together first because it's not there. This would be my Grey John approach now. Did I do 50 points? Yes, I did. Good. Tallies. Outriders. And then I rope. And whatever unit, you can also put Varys. That doesn't matter. And then you take Grey Wind. And most likely a Spearman unit. And then you have here you are again. You put a survivalist in there in the House Berserkers, so it's so you have 2 points left, and now you could I won't I would put Brent Tully here and the survivalist, so they are pretty tanky now with Dauntless and Iron Resolve. And then you also could place them on stakes or whatever to really annoy your opponent. And yeah, and then you would search for the new Berserker Tactics card. Or you don't really need it, but if you have it, it's nice, right? So yeah, I mean the playstyle is pretty still the same. Now with just this list, you're way more maneuverable, and you can also like outflank the Berserkers or the Cavaliers. Not in every matchup, of course, but the opponent has to respect it. So when you deploy these 2 units, of course, at last, and then your opponent really has to negate the flanks. Otherwise, he could be in a lot of trouble if one of those units is appearing in the flank, or just also to get you an advantage if he has to deploy in a certain way. Then you can maybe target out a softer unit with Greyjohn, and I mean with 7-inch move and reckless heroism, and maybe swift reposition. You have 15 inch threat range when I'm correctly, maybe 16 even when you have horses. And this is a very, very big threat range for an infantry unit with 9 attack die. Maybe you also play Caitlyn here to give them highest attack, of course. But because of Assault Order nerf, you maybe are not pushed to that to Caitlyn anymore. And you also got the card now with Berserker Tactics where you get highest attack and rerolls also when you're engaged. So I think, yeah, Caitlyn is not that necessary in Greyjohn anymore, and also because there will be so many token spams on every list that will come out. I think Caitlyn won't bring that punch she had before. But maybe people disagree. What do you think of this kind of list for the Starks? Do you think Greyjohn is dead, or do you think he's still playable? Mm, I like Maggie, and one of my friends, he's also here right now. He likes Maggie a lot. Um, I haven't played her in competitive really because I just played different commanders and had a different approach. And of course there was Greyjohn. I played Eddard or played Howland Reed, which I liked much better for my matchups I wanted to play against. Because my hate army is Martell, so I needed something against Martell, and this was Howland. And then because I didn't want to play Niner Greyjohn, so I just used a way to find a way to play against this kind of armies. Now maybe I think the card is of course way better. You can use it on different units. You can make Shaggy instantly a threat in this list. Also very annoying to deal with, of course. I can show it to the people which don't know the combi. You play Maggie Mormont as a commander, and then you have the support of the island card, and then you will remove 3 wounds from Shaggy Dog and heal up to 4 wounds someone else. And then, as we all know, Shaggy will get better as less wounds he has. And then he will hit with 7 dice, Thundering and Vicious. And with the other card, Here We Stand, the opponent can't kill him with 1 activation. Maybe he has to use abilities, and yeah, and your style of play is of course to prevent that Shaggy Dog is dying easily and just be as annoying as hell with this card, and yeah, make him hang very, very dangerous right from the start, or the opponent has to respect this card combination. In the long run, I don't see Maggie surpassing other commanders in competitive play. Of course, in every other scenario you can play her, but for my play style, I won't see her. I think what I showed you with my first list, that the 3 Tully Cavaliers is a bunch to deal with for a lot of armies. Also with the heal in it, and right by attack, and I mean write them down is pretty good with Rob then. But yeah, we will see. Hardest matchup. I think a lot of people would say Tarks, but I think when you're very good with the Howland list, I think you're pretty good, or you're fine against like a Cav spam army. It really depends of what other list the Tark player will bring. When there are dragons, I don't see it. If it's like an infantry heavy list, then I will see the Tarks are fine. Yeah, I think Martell is always very tough for Starks, and because of the opportunity to shut down all the alpha charges and strikes, which are now also off the card nerf of Assault Orders got weaker or a bit weaker. I think Martell is tough, and of course, Greyjoy. I think those three are the hard ones for Starks in the future, or actually remain the same. I think those three were the toughest before, and now are the same. Yeah. Did you play Triano? Did you play Maggie in a tournament already? Not yet. Okay. So you want to play her, or do you see her competitiveness? Yeah, I also think her cards are very nice, and also Battle Scars has a very nice attachment. I mean, ability. Also a lot for Starks. So, yeah. So I will prepare the last list, which I wanted to show you guys, which is Rickard Karstark. The, so, nope, wrong. And then 6. Most likely. No, that was the wrong one. Yeah. Same approach, or very similar approach, would be a 7 activation list. Here again, I would use the Brett and Tully Boy. Yeah, I would. Nope. Here I would place the Winterfell Guard, and in those 2 units there would be a survivalist in, and yeah, and then you, not really new thing, you would try to do the first turn, last turn activation, especially with the House Umber Great Axes, if it's possible, because with Feud by Slaughter and the card Caster Retribution, which I can point out, then you will have like another Feud by Slaughter, which different ability. This card will stick to the enemy for the rest of the game until the opponent is alive. And yeah, this so your great axes in combination with the rally banner are very hard to kill if you are able to strike back. And the card Need for Vengeance now, I think, got a bit better with the Assault Order nerf. Maybe, I know some people disagree this is a nerf, but I think for Stark it is a nerf a bit. But yeah, you will get +1 to hit, which is very nice. So you hit on 2+ with the Great Axes, and yeah, you can just attack. And I think this combination can wipe out a lot of maybe bunker units as well. So you really ignore like maybe Iron Makers or Queensmen or Honor Guard, whatever is very, very tanky. You can almost ignore with the Great Axes. Of course, you really have to watch out, because shooty lists will. That's why I said Martell. Shooty lists will really destroy those kinds of lists, or you really have to push this unit in his face and be lucky that you survive long enough, and then just Feud by Slaughter up. But yeah, I think in a grindy game where your opponent has a lot of infantry or even cavalry and not a lot of shooting, this list can be viable. Also, add blocking the ability again for the opponent to use his range units good or to deny something is very powerful. So I think Eddard will be very, very crucial for the Starks now as well. Yeah, even more than before. This is a wild combination. I mean, it's a bit too much. I mean, you have ambush and you have mark target on them, but okay, why not? But I really won't invest too heavy on a support unit. I rather have my tank units or my really damage units to do what they should, damage or sustain. So I rather support that. And I mean, when the Outriders are able to do a nice charge or are able to do some damage, of course I take it, but I won't like invest too hard into a support units. When there's not like an insane combination out of it. Yeah. But as I said, the survivalist also helps a lot, right? You can make it very tough for the opponent to fight on the battlefield against you, and you can just ignore where to fight. So this is again helping you a lot. So maybe planting a lot of trees, like which I like to do when I'm playing Rickard now, because you will shorten up or you make the angle for shooting a bit difficult. And if you give the opponent extra dice on defense, you don't care because great axes, you will just roll defense dice of 6. So this is a nice combination you can do again. And of course you have Pathfinder, but just saying this wouldn't really bother you, even if you would lose your Pathfinder boy. So what do you think of this list, or do you would like to play Rickard Karstark in the future? Yeah, to use Caster Retribution, the attack on round is not easy because you give also a lot of yeah tempo play to your opponent when it doesn't work, then it's a pretty worse thing to do. But if you can time the start of round very good, and he is in a very crucial state, maybe of losing a unit, then it's pretty powerful. Yeah, but it's not very easy to play. I agree, but it can be quite good now. I mean, great access. I hope they will buff them maybe in season 7 with one more attack dice, 7, 6, 5. Then they have like normal attack profile like pyromancers, which basically do the same but on range, or dragons or whatever, with the kind of same intent of ability of giving your opponent or not being able to play bunkers. So maybe if they get a bit better in the future, I see great access in play. Right now, I also think it's the best unit for him because the Winterfell Guard won't cut it now with the 4 points free. And only precision is hard to say, but it's too weak. And in Bog Devils, yeah, it doesn't fit with his cards, right? So Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Brenton also, I switched it up. Brenton Tully was in the Spearman. He's 1 point now, so you can, like I said, put a survivalist in here. And in here. Yeah. I think Dauntless and Iron Resolve is pretty nice for them. For a lot of units won't get rerolls against them, then you hold the line. I think this unit is very nasty to deal with for a lot of factions. I think they're pretty good with Brenton. That's why I like this buff from him to 1 point a lot. That was needed long time. Yeah. You can also, if you, I mean, I know you, Perseus, you have a lot of nice list ideas, so just go ahead and feel free if you want to point a list out, or we can discuss about. But yeah. Howland was an 8 activation list, and I won't see 9 activations right now. Maybe some people disagree, at least with Starks, because the units you will have to fight against with like very strong attachments are way too beefy, or or very their damage output will very hard, and then your squishy units or like your 5 point units, 6 point units cannot stand up with those kind of damage and effect. So I don't see 9 activations anymore for Starks right now. Yeah, correct. If you can like do like combinations with moral test and the rally banner next beside it, it's very good. Yeah, but overall, I think spamming the calf for Starks in Rob and like in Tully calf, the Tully calf commander, Brandon Tully, I think. I mean, of course, they have also a lot of weakness spots, but at least you're calf, you're very fast, you're beefy, and yeah, the opponent really it's not easy to catch you. So I think those kind of lists will be very strong and competitive, or stronger. Of course, Starks have an uphill battle now, more than before, but I think there will be some lists out there which obviously can compete in competitive play. Did you want to write something? Because I just saw you typing cross. Okay. Yeah, that was my small and quick, or not quick, but overview for the Season 6 Starks update patch. Yeah, as I said, I think Starks will be still around, maybe not as competitive than before, but there will be some lists out there that will bring some headache to the opponent. And yeah, then obviously you can always contact me and write me if you have any questions for Starks or in general. And then thanks for joining, and I hope you be at the next event on I think Tuesday or even tomorrow. I'm not sure. And then have a nice Sunday and sleep well, guys. Bye-bye.
Come for the hits and stay for the crits.